The Hittites were an ancient Anatolian people who established a powerful empire during the Late Bronze Age, with their capital at Hattusa, in what is now central Turkey. Their civilization flourished between the 17th and 12th centuries BC, becoming one of the dominant powers of the Near East alongside Egypt, Assyria, and the Mitanni. The origins of the Hittites remain somewhat obscure, but they were part of the Indo-European migration into Anatolia in the early 2nd millennium BC. Upon settling in the region, they encountered and absorbed local Hattian and Hurrian influences, adopting elements of their culture and administration while developing their own political structure and religious practices. The first significant ruler of the Hittites, Labarna I, laid the foundations of the kingdom, but it was Hattusili I who consolidated power and moved the capital to Hattusa. His grandson, Mursili I, launched one of the most ambitious campaigns in early Hittite history, leading an army to Babylon and sacking the city around 1595 BC. However, his assassination shortly afterward plunged the kingdom into instability. For the next 2 centuries, the Hittites experienced internal turmoil, with weaker rulers struggling to maintain authority. It was only in the 15th and 14th centuries BC that the empire regained its strength under kings like Tudhaliya I and Suppiluliuma I, the latter of whom expanded Hittite influence into Syria by defeating the Mitanni and securing dominance over key cities such as Aleppo and Carchemish. One of the most defining moments in Hittite history came in 1274 BC when King Muwatalli II led his forces against Pharaoh Ramesses II of Egypt in the famous Battle of Kadesh. This massive confrontation, fought with thousands of chariots, ended inconclusively, though the Hittites managed to retain control over much of Syria. Decades later, under the reign of Hattusili III, the Hittites and Egyptians finally negotiated a peace treaty in 1259 BC, which remains one of the oldest known diplomatic agreements in history. Hittite society was structured around a monarchy where the king also served as the high priest, overseeing a vast network of vassal states that were bound by treaties and military alliances. The Hittites followed a polytheistic religion, worshipping a wide pantheon of gods, the most important of whom was Tarhunt, the storm god. Their legal system was notably more lenient than that of contemporary Mesopotamian states, often favoring fines and exile over capital punishment. The empire also boasted impressive advancements in administration, diplomacy, and warfare, developing innovative chariot tactics and an efficient system of governance that allowed them to manage their expansive territory. By the end of the 13th century BC, however, the Hittite Empire began to decline. Internal conflicts weakened its political stability, while economic difficulties and external threats, including invasions by the Sea Peoples and the growing power of Assyria, placed immense pressure on the kingdom. Around 1190 BC, Hattusa was abandoned and destroyed, marking the end of Hittite rule. However, remnants of Hittite culture survived for a few more centuries in the form of Neo-Hittite city-states in northern Syria, though these too eventually fell to the expanding Assyrian Empire in the 8th century BC. For many centuries, the Hittites were forgotten, their history lost to time. It was only in the late 19th and early 20th centuries that archaeologists rediscovered their civilization, uncovering thousands of cuneiform tablets at Hattusa that provided invaluable insights into their language, laws, and diplomatic affairs. Today, the Hittites are recognized as one of the great powers of the Bronze Age, their legacy evident in their contributions to law, administration, and international relations, as well as their lasting influence on the cultures that followed them.